Over the thousands of years, humanity has developed into the world-sprawling civilization it is today. Stories of fantastic and mythological creatures abound. Every civilization has its own version of everything from the boogeyman to dragons, and we still enjoy these mythological creatures in movies and games. You have to wonder, where did these creatures come from in the first place, and why do they exist in different regions of the world, where people never met one another? Like most stories involving things too incredible to be true, every mythological creature or cryptid has its roots in something real. Whether it's a tall tale about something discovered in Australia or Central Africa, there's a good chance someone returned home with more than a few embellishments on what they actually saw. Everyone has a fish that got away story, and no matter what, it's a whopper. Sightings of mythological beasts are no different. Because of this penchant for people to embellish their stories, some mythological creatures truly do exist in nature. There's a reason dragons are found all over Europe and Asia, and the real creatures those beasts are based upon make a lot of sense when you stop to think about it for a moment. These mythological beasts were based, at least in some ways, on animals that truly did exist. Number 5. Moby Dick. In 1820, Captain George Pollard Jr. was in command of the Essex when it was sunk by a whale. He survived and returned to Nantucket, where he was given the two brothers to captain, but after 2 years, he crashed it on a coral reef and was thereafter determined to be unlucky at sea. Pollard's troubles with the Essex came from an 85-foot albino sperm whale, which directly attacked and smashed into the ship. The whale returned to attack the vessel at greater speed, and the Essex began taking on water, leaving the men to flee. Pollard was away from the vessel when the attack occurred. When he returned shortly after the whale slammed into the vessel a second time, he saw his first mate, Owen Chase, who told him, "We have been stove by a whale." And with that, the legend that would become Moby Dick was born. Number 4. Dire wolves. Dire wolves were real animals, which went extinct around 9,500 years ago when the last major ice age came to an end. Dire wolves weren't gigantic monsters, but they were big animals. Most specimens that have been studied show the dire wolf to be about the same size as modern grey wolves. They weighed around 132 pounds, 60 kilograms, and were capable predators. Their teeth were larger and had a better shearing ability than their modern cousins. They had the strongest bite force at the point of the canine of all Canis species. This made it possible for them to prey on horses, camels, mastodon, bison, and humans living during the Ice Age. It's likely tales of their ferocity gave life to the mythological abilities of the animal, which persist today. Sadly, dire wolves are long gone, even if they do sometimes pop up in our nightmares. Number 3. Dragons. There isn't a scholarly consensus regarding how cultures all over the world came up with dragons. But there are theories suggesting ancient people found dinosaur fossils, and they were the inspiration for these gigantic beasts. Of course, it didn't necessarily have to be extinct dinosaurs that provided the inspiration for these mythical creatures. The bones of misunderstood fauna that were extant at the time could have led to similar conclusions. There are contemporary animals that could also have served as a source for dragon inspiration, such as the Komodo dragon, iguanas, alligators, Gila monsters, and other large reptiles. Number 2. Unicorns. The myth of the unicorn has evolved over time from various descriptions of real animals, and the most likely source in European history stems from Pliny the Elder's description of the rhinoceros. He wrote in the 1st century CE that it has the head of a stag, the feet of an elephant, and the tail of a boar. It has a single black horn which projects from the middle of its forehead. Over time, this description morphed through tall tales into the unicorn, but another source in Europe also helped push the belief in the majestic beast. Norse Vikings would take narwhal tusks to Europe and sell them to people as unicorn horns. Because they had never seen a narwhal or a unicorn, The explanation worked, and people traded in so-called unicorn horns for centuries. Number 1. Kraken. Sailors have been describing strange creatures for millennia, and while most beasts described by them over the years proved to be wildly inaccurate, not everything was. The Kraken may have been described as a violent creature that sank ships, but in reality it was likely a colossal squid. They can reach lengths of up to 33 feet, 10 meters, and weigh in at 1,500 pounds, 700 kilograms. They have strong tentacles which are filled with suction cups like other squid and octopus, but these nasty buggers feature large hooked claws, giving it a grabbing advantage over others of its kind. These animals have been known for thousands of years, but they were only first described in 1925. The first live specimen wasn't captured in 2007, but tales of the beast's mighty tentacles likely gave birth to the myth of the Kraken, as they have washed up on beaches around the world throughout history. Which one terrified you the most? What would you do if you found them on your walkway? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.